Okay, hi everybody. My name is Andrew. I'm here with my my colleague Sander, who's back here. I can't see him anymore. Oh, here. Oh, perfect. Snuck up on me. He's a ninja. Cool. And we're with Textile. So our vision is to build a digital wallet for all of your personal data. And we think that IPFS is sort of a missing ingredient, has been a missing ingredient. Decentralized storage has been a missing ingredient to make that happen. And in the future, as we become more and more digital, it's going to be more important that we each own all of our data for the long term. And so that means things like encryption, decentralization, and we call it a wallet in the cryptocurrency sense because it implies ownership in this idea of encryption and permissions. Our first product on what we're building, this wallet, is Textile Photos. You can find that at textile.photos. Essentially, it does photo backup and storage on IPFS. So every photo you take on your phone can be encrypted and stored privately on IPFS or synced to other devices that you have. And it does decentralized photo sharing, similar to the idea of Instagram, but instead of one unified public thread, we have ideas of shared threads where you invite specific people that you permission then to see your posts. We're really focused on building the user interface layer on top of the decentralized network. So this is not implemented yet, but these are the working designs for the future version of the app. You can see on the left, this is the concept of your wallet with all of your personal data stored. Every photo you're taking just gets entered into your wallet. You could click on those photos and see the ideas that you'll be able to see where they're stored locally on the decentralized network or on other devices. Currently, we're pseudo-decentralized, right? So we have this idea of swapping in Filecoin when it goes live so that every user is handling the storage of their own data, and that we'll actually build systems to offset the cost of you storing your own data. So from a conversation this morning, the idea of open mind type projects where you can actually use your data to then get value to store your data so that you can keep that digital representation of yourself. But anyway, this is your wallet. It's social, so there's a network component where this is the ability for you to invite other people to then view threads or collaborate on threads. And then on the right is this idea of threads where you have different themed places that you're updating and talking about people's posts. We also have the desktop app. Maybe.
Oh yeah. So currently we have this concept of. Yeah. Yeah. So what you're seeing here is this pairing of a Textile node, which is obviously an IPFS node wrapped with our application logic, and what it's doing here is pairing with a read-only desktop node. Eventually we'll make desktop, you'll be able to add photos to it like you would with the Photos application on a Mac. But currently it's just sort of functions as a bit of redundancy for your photos.
Yeah. One thing I meant to comment too is a lot of the underlying mechanisms for running nodes. So we run a node on every mobile app, and a lot of that work came from OpenBazaar. Are there OpenBazaar people in the room? Nice. We'd love to talk to you later. Love your work. And so a lot of the work was based on that, so thank you very much. And mobile IPFS nodes based on an OpenBazaar fork, a lot of differences now, but originally that work. React Native mobile application, it's already in beta testing. We have some invites out. More invites coming once we have the ability to invite people to your own threads or create your own threads. You can check out our code on Textile.io. Some of the challenges that we're working through right now, decentralized sharing over a mobile network, so the ability to post things in a mobile environment where you're going to almost immediately go offline. Sharing data, so synchronization and conflict resolution in those shared threads. Decentralized new user referral and invites is a fun thing that we're working on right now to make it so you can invite somebody who's not part of Textile in any sort of user registry, but then also trying to figure out how we solve user identity backup, recovery, things like that. We'd love for you to join the wait list or let us know, and we can help bump you guys to the top once we have the next wave of invites. And that's it. Thank you.
So identity and social. So I think the synergy for IPLID is actually just representing key management and rotation.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Currently, right now, just any user or any node is just it's just your private key. So there's really no. We have sort of an ad hoc username on top of that, but it's by no means enforceable or provable that you are who you say you are or anything like that. So.
Yeah. Actually, Sander brought up a good thing to comment here is like right now, we're just so focused on getting this user interface layer working that a lot of these pieces we're just making work the first time. And at the same time, we're exploring the right way behind the scenes to do a lot of that. So.
And I'm just curious, like, what's your business model? Like, how do you actually make money as a company?
Yeah, so I think long term, there's a couple different ways you could see that working. One would be simple arbitrage for storage, so that you use the network. It's easier than running your own IPFS node. But the bigger ideas would actually be doing things like utility tokens around personal data, so letting you actually permission parts of your personal data to then offset the cost of running the system.
Okay, it's a good idea, file wallet. I want to know how to use a login, and do you need a database like MySQL or Oracle?
So do we need what?
A database. For example, MySQL.
Do we need a database? Do we need an Oracle? No.
How do you keep user identified?
Okay, yeah. So currently we do have a centralized user sign up and password. There's two reasons for that. One is because we have a wait list, so it's not open join. And then the second is that long term we actually see one of the functions of our system will be doing things like wallet recovery. So the mud puddle problem of the mobile phone is a challenge that we want to help solve voluntarily, so you could opt in to being part of our database, our Oracle.
So we have this problem where we have this master mnemonic, which you can then derive your private key with. But each thread, so each whether it's a conversation or a photo album, each one of these threads, we call them, has their own key pair. So you have this, you can get this massive list of key pairs that you need to be able to recover. So we have this recovery service, that you can imagine being, done by the Dropbox or a Textile, where we just encrypt all of your other keys with your master key, and then you only need your one phrase. Because we have these things where it's just a terrible user experience, right? If you have to ask the user to write down like 20 different mnemonic phrases, no one's going to do that. It's terrible. So trying to figure out how to get around that is sort of issues that you run into immediately when you start doing mobile stuff, and people expect good experiences.
Yeah, it's balance. Anyway, thank you.